And welcome back. Today we're going to be canning diced tomatoes. First step when canning, always, is to wash your jars in nice hot bubbly water. We're using half pints today, so they're 8 ounces for our tomatoes. Next up is you're going to need your supplies. So first supply is a digital pressure canner. And I'll show you how to use this once we get into this. If you don't have the digital pressure canner, there's other videos out there that tell you how to do this with the regular pressure canner. Or I might if you hang around with this channel long enough. Who knows? We got our jars washed. Got our lids. Got our rings. We diced up our tomatoes the night before last. They're fine. I have 4 cups. I measured. We need a non-iodized salt, or you could use like pink salt, Celtic salt, whatever. 1/4 teaspoon, a 1/2 tablespoon, and bottled lemon juice, like the fake kind. You need the citric acid for it to have the right pH, and a cutting board. The next step of canning your diced tomatoes, you're going to put a 1/2 tablespoon of lemon juice in each jar. I have 5 jars. I know that it probably will only be 4 jars, but we're doing an extra jar just in case. Fill those up. If you are doing full pints, you would use 1 tablespoon. If you were doing a quart, you would use 2 tablespoons. Make sense? You're just doubling. Okay. For our next step, we're going to be adding 1/4 teaspoon to each jar. Now again, if you're doing pints, this would be a 1/2 teaspoon. If you're doing quarts, this would be a whole teaspoon of your non-iodized salts. Okay, just like that. Your next step is to fill all of your jars with your diced tomatoes with the juice. These are rainbow colored. I used some Lemon Boys, some Mr. Stripey's, and some Ox Hearts. So I'm going to fill those to a 1/2 inch headspace. All your jar. Push them down. Need to add more, add more. Not be too much. Measure it out. Use one of these if you have it. If not, find some type of measurement thing. And we're going 1/2 inch headspace from the top. We're right at it. We're going to do that for all of the other jars. So you see we have a little bit left here. We're going to evenly disperse these around all of our jars. And if it looks like it's too high, we're just going to push them down. Use a spoon, use whatever. You need to use your hands. It doesn't matter if they're clean. Okay, we did that. Cool. Take your lid off. Don't need that anymore. Now we're going to slightly tap these to get them to settle. Next up is you want to make sure you go through all of them. See how this one has a bubble on the side? I don't know if you can see that. And use either this thing or a toothpick or wooden skewer or a spoon, butter knife, whatever you got. It doesn't matter. use that, go around, get the bubbles out, even it back out, and check for space. Half inch, we're good. Do that to all 4. Basically 1 cup makes 1/2 pint. Okay, I think you can figure out the math on the rest of it, how much you would need. Okay. The next step is you want to get out your paper towels. Prefer paper towels because they leave less lint behind than a rag would. And you get your white vinegar. Make sure it is 5% acidity. Okay, and some of the vinegars are not. Just pay attention to it. And then go around to each jar lid. Wipe the tops of them off really well. Okay, we don't want none of that tomato juice. See, this is empty. We got tomato juice and salt, whatever, it's fine. We don't want any of this excess on the rims. Okay, we've got our rims cleaned with the white vinegar. We're going to take our lids, place them on. And then we're going to take our rings. And we're going to put them on only fingertip. Well, I think I'm on right first time, would hope. Only fingertip tight. If you watch, I'm not moving my wrist. Okay, you don't want to crank it down. Just fingertip tight. We do that to all 4. Why did that one go on so much easier? Oh. Now we're going to move to the canner. Your next step is to follow the steps to set this up for water bath canning. So we are, make sure our seal is in here, and we're going to put 3 quarts of water in here. We're just following these steps. One, 3. 3 full quarts. If you don't want your jars to get cloudy, add a splash of white vinegar. For our next step, we're going to plug in our canner. Make sure it is on boiling water, not pressure can. Push our button in, and we're going to set it for 35 minutes for half pints. Pints would be 40. Quarts will be 45. Okay, we're going to push play. It's going to say insert jars. We are cheating. Okay, we're skipping the jar warming process. So go ahead and put all 4 jars in there. And we have them where they're not touching. Okay. Alright, now we're going to fill our canner up until there's 1 inch of water above all the jars. Woo! Yeah. Water went everywhere. Again, use this thingy to see if you're there. Just put it on top of one lid and keep filling it up. Just a little bit more. There we go, 1 inch. Now, we put our lid on and lock it. So, start with it on install remove, turn it to locked, and then you're going to push this guy down and turn him. And then you're gonna hit play. Got our lid locked in place and we push play. Now it says warming. So what it's basically doing, we're skipping like step 2 kind of. So we're not going to be putting the regulator on, so it's just warming the jars up, and then it'll beep and say to fill jars. We've already done that, so we'll just push play again. Okay? And then it'll say heat, and then it'll say canning. Cool? Alright. In the meantime, clean up your stuff. While we're waiting for this to warm up, I want to explain a little bit why we skipped like a whole section up there. It's because our tomatoes were already cold because they were in the fridge, right? So we have our cold tomatoes, and then we had like lukewarm water and lukewarm jars. And our tomatoes were about lukewarm by the time we got to using them. So everything was the same temperature. So we could just go ahead and skip the heating jars process because we weren't using the hot thing to put in. Does that make sense? As long as everything is the same temperature, you can skip that part. Okay? If not, your jars will crack. If you put hot stuff into a cold jar, crack. If you put cold stuff into a hot jar, crack. Okay? Okay. Alright, so it just beeped twice, and if you look, it says fill jars. We've already done that, remember? So now we can just push play. And it's got the time on it, and it'll keep going. It'll heat it up, and then it'll say canning, and then it'll say cooling. We basically are hands-free from this point. It beeped twice, and now it says it's canning because it came up to temperature. So we don't use a regulator when we water bath canning. So it's just going to can for 35 minutes and then go into cooling mode, and then I'll take them out when I get back. Because we're leaving, we got some errands to run for a little bit. It should be fine. Now that it's done, it's reached its cool off point. You see it's done. You hold the X for 3 seconds. Excuse my animals. And then you go ahead and open it up. And take your jars out. So you go in, grab them by the top. Don't worry about getting the water off the top. It'll dry when it's on. Put your jars on a soft rag. And let them seal for 12 to 48, 12 hours. For 12 hours. I'm not touching them. And they look only half full. There's a lot of juice in them, but that's it. Our jars are done. They've sat. We can now take the rings off and test the seal. It's good to go. We'll just wash it and put it in storage and label it.